Good morning, thank you very much. I think we're ready to go, hopefully we're ready. I want to wake you all up, so a few nice images of some vineyards. Sound, please. So, this is where we're all going to be tomorrow. And it's wonderful. I mean, I love trade fairs, and I love being here. There are thousands of wines, possibly 10,000s of wines. And even, I've got some wine from Georgia and some wine from France. I'm going to be in there pouring my wine as well. And there are too many labels. There are too few brands. And if you're not a brand, what are you? You're a substitutable commodity. That means they can just say, we don't need you, we'll have something else instead. And that is true of most wines in most retail stores, and possibly Systembolaget in Sweden. Brands need to be marketed. To create brand awareness, that's what we'll talk about. Actually, more important than brand awareness is something that came up in an interview I did for Meiningers recently. It's brand desire. Knowing about it is one thing. Wanting it is more important. The $19 strawberry is a real thing. And these guys...
So you've heard about these new viral strawberries
yes.
that have from America?
Yes. The very expensive single strawberry.
They took cheap supermarket strawberries and put them in these little boxes and told people they were the $19 strawberry.
That's a really good strawberry. That's a really good strawberry.
What do you think?
That is really good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
How is it different than a regular strawberry?
I feel like it's a lot sweeter than normal. And there's like no bad spots. I feel like berries often you have to like kind of pick around.
I guess you could say it doesn't taste GMO, or like you don't taste any like food coloring or anything.
It's extremely fleshy, sweet, juicy. It has a lingering taste to it, so it remains on your palate.
Brought to you by regular supermarket strawberries.
So, these are sold out. You can go look them up online, that's real, and this was on Jimmy Kimmel the other evening, we'll credit. And we laugh at that, but we don't laugh at this. That brand is more powerful than any wine brand, and it's something that we should think about. Brands need to listen. Wine is a business, and successful businesses, as you've just heard, adapt. You all know this brand, you all recognize those cars, right? We're driving more SUVs than we did. Today, Porsche is an SUV company that also makes sports cars. You know this company, they make lots of lenses for glasses and telescopes and so on. Used to be associated with cameras. Now they're associated with smartphones. Now, I've just done a little SWOT on the wine industry. I don't know how many of you do SWOTs on your own businesses. We all should. So let's look at wine. Strengths, history, sophistication. It's convivial, interesting, fascinating. Variation. Look at all the wines we're going to see tomorrow. It goes well with food. Nothing is as good. Part of local culture, tourism. It's had lots of investment. All of that, wonderful. Weaknesses, it's old-fashioned, it's snobby, the choice is too broad, it's confusing and boring because of that choice, the packaging is heavy, all the problems we associated with that. Labor is a problem, the sons and daughters don't want to take over. Margins are too poor. Even when we're making a profit, we're not making enough profit to actually spend any money on marketing. We're overproducing, and as I just said, we don't have the marketing. And the industry is run by peasants and hobbyists. What does that mean? We have the sons and grandsons of people who make wine, who are making wine because their grandfather made wine, and we've got people who are lawyers and gynecologists and now have a hobby vineyard. None of these people are looking at wine in the way a business would. They're not looking for the return on investment that they should be. Opportunity, we can improve the marketing, we can have better packaging, we could look at PET, bib, cans, kegs, 50 centimeters smaller. With new styles, we can actually go for mid-strength wines, zero, alc, RTDs, and so on. We can change our distribution, and you're going to hear a bit about that later today. Direct to consumer is going to be relevant. Tourism, events, and something we don't talk about enough, sampling. If we were in the perfume business, we would not dream of trying to sell our product without sampling it. The spirits brands are really good at sampling. What are the threats? Climate change, obviously. The anti-alcohol lobby, which is not the same as the health lobby. And the well-being side, which is not the same as health. Well-being means I wake up this morning and my watch tells me I didn't sleep very well last night because of the drinks I had at dinner. That's different. Legislation we know about, taxes and tariffs, obviously, other beverages of all kinds. So, how do you adapt your margins? We'll talk about that. Adapt your branding, adapt your packaging, adapt your distribution, adapt your product, your wine. So let's look about adapting the product. People evidently like pink. I'm old enough to remember when rosé was wine for girls in the summer. Chateau d'Esclans, bought by Sacha Lechine after he sold his Bordeaux Chateau, and then it had investment from LVMH in 2019. I don't know if you can read these figures, you probably can. That is how big that property is, that those sets of brands are in the US. And if you do the numbers, it comes to about 16 million bottles. Prosecco, there was a lot of argument about whether Prosecco should become pink or not. We're now talking about over 70 millions of pink Prosecco. But people like other things. Mucho Mas, brilliant brand. 15 million bottles, sold all over the place. It's a nice red blend, 44.2 from 94,000 Vivino people, so people are liking it. Bestseller in the Netherlands, bestseller in the UK. What do we know about it? We don't know where it comes from. We don't really know what it's made from. What we do know is it has 18 grams of sugar per litre. Georgia, and we're making wine in Georgia. Everybody knows how successful Georgia is being. Think about all that wonderful, Kvevri, amber wine that's selling everywhere. Lots and lots of sweet red wine going to Poland, going to Russia, going to China. This, by the way, we talked about Africa. We want to sell wine in Africa. This is a homepage of a Nigerian distributor. It's great. This is one point I'd like to make. 15 out of 27 of the red wines on that page are sweet. And by the way, Nigeria loves heavy bottles. So does China. So do some people in America. Cloudy Bay, classic, iconic label. They changed it. Why did they change it? We love that label. Because they did research. They found that the label actually was selling to older people. They wanted to talk to younger people. Were they right? Were they wrong? I don't know, but LVMH doesn't get that many things wrong. We love the 75 centiliter bottle, and we all say moderation is right. Have we stopped to realize that the 75 centiliter bottle does not work with moderation because there's too much wine in there for two people to drink moderately? So, we could actually put wines in cans, we could actually put wines in bag-in-box. This is a $95 bag-in-box. $21 per bottle, effectively, 92 points. Comes from Tablas Creek, which belongs to the Perrin family. Premium. They also have kegs. 12% of their wines in keg. In terms of distribution, we can work with other people. Here is Yellowtail working with Domino's. Cloudy Bay, you can buy direct. Moet Hennessy, if you're wealthy enough, you can buy your Dom Perignon direct from Moet Hennessy. Marketing. Why does Dom Perignon work with Lady Gaga? Does that make any sense to anyone? Yes, because the Lady Gaga fans are the younger people that Dom Perignon was not selling to. This is the biggest importer and producer in India. This is a wine festival. Yeah, it's in the vineyards. It's not what most of us think of as a wine festival. Change your product. A cider is now fruit flavored very often. We have wine that's fruit flavored as well. Stella Rosa, chili flavored wine, #1 fastest moving seller the year before last. RTDs based on wine have risen by 30% in sales last year at a time when wine sales were flat. XXL, 16% alcohol and 0 to 40 million bottles in only 2 years, another RTD. Brand wine that's been in bourbon casks, huge success. La Vieille Femme, a brilliant brand, sold as Ventoux and Luberon in France, and as Vin de France everywhere else. And somebody decided in Britain to call it chicken wine because the chicken on it, and the Perrin family who own it adopted that, and they used chicken wine as their identity, and they even labeled some of the wine as chicken wine. Penfolds Grange, Jabelet, La Chapelle, great brands, they work together to make a third brand, if you like, together. Low and no alcohol. Martini does it, Guinness does it, Heineken does it. Here are some of the wines we had at the Mundus Vini competition. 250 entries. And the interesting thing is Torres, which is spending 5 million euros on their new zero alcohol plant, was one of the winners of that competition. Other brands, and people say to me, well, you can't call it wine. What can you call it? Mianetto, Dr. Lawson, Chenet, they don't care what you call it. It is their zero alcohol product, and we need to get over that, what do you call it question. And it isn't all cheap big brands. This is from the de Bois family of Chateau Angelus, and this, of course, is from the Tattanger family, which sold this brand, or a share of this brand, to LVMH, 500,000 bottles. Then we look at mid-strength wines, 7-8%. Finland, because of the change in monopoly laws, the UK, because of taxation driving this, but it's moving up elsewhere as well. Now, one company, one brand, 4 options. This slide is one that I think is very, very helpful. Sangre de Toro, the wine that we all know from Torres, this is the original. This is the biological, the organic, which, by the way, I don't think Mr. Torres Sr. was that keen on the idea of. This is the 8%, and this is the 0%. To me, it's a great example of a brand understanding the different markets. You won't find all of those bottles in the same shops, or necessarily even the same markets, but Torres has understood. So we have challenges, and we have opportunities, and you're now going to see something that you've never seen before. The flying ostrich. And somebody asked me about my t-shirt earlier. That's why. And now I added this late. I'm still within my time, I think. Good luck to everybody for the next 3 days. Europe is going to come through this. The wine industry is going to come through this. But it's not going to be the same wine industry in 5 or 10 years as it is today. Those of us who know how to adapt will succeed and we will flourish. And the others will not. Somebody said to me, how is this going to happen? And I said, it's actually going to be a combination of Darwin and Adam Smith. They are more important to the wine industry than any viticulturist or any wine critic or anybody else you might care to name. Thank you very much.